If anybody's not listening, there are so many metaphors.
And part of the intrigue of that for me is that when there is a shipwreck, and there were at about 13 shipwrecks off directly in this little cove. This cove was known as Dead Man's Cove back in the day. So there were known 13 shipwrecks. And so you as the lighthouse keeper would help in the save potentially. It was part of the job, although not the main part. But then you had to house those people until someone came to bring. You had to tend to their wounds. You had to feed them and clothe them, and you didn't get anything extra for that. That came out of your supplies. So you just took care of people that needed to be taken care of. That was the lighthouse keeper's job.
If anybody's not listening, there are so many metaphors. And the reason why I chose the name for the podcast, because the people that we speak to do exactly that. Incredibly selfless and very dedicated. And like you said, they sometimes, I want to say, overlooked in some, maybe they were not high paying.
No, not at all. No, it's not a high paying job. It is a federal job. It is a federal job, and eventually Coast Guard took it over, but they would make $400 to $500 a year, an annual salary of $400 to $500. And for someone like Stella's father, who had been a carpenter and wasn't necessarily a hard worker, this provided his family with a good base of income. So that was something
over their head about a
exactly
lamp that spun around in the middle of the night
throughout the night and had to be kept lit.
The family had to be quiet during the day because that's the only time the dad would sleep. And then
That's right.
he would wake up, and they would, if it was a particularly horrific storm, it was all hands on deck. Exactly where that.
And everybody in a lighthouse family has to contribute. Everybody has jobs to do, so that all the brass has to be polished. Everything has to be kept military clean, because at any time, twice a year, a lighthouse inspector shows up. Before Coast Guard even, it was still a military operation. And so there was a white glove inspection. So there was no not making your bed in the morning or leaving toys around on the floor or dishes
in the sink.